Global happenings today. We communicate, we analyze global news. Stay tuned. Hello guys, welcome back to our channel. We are so excited to have you again. Please, if you've not subscribed to our channel, kindly hit on that red subscribe button. All right, we are looking at the issue of restructuring. It's been resounded by so many people, and greater number of them are from the southeast and also the southwest, though the southeasterners are pursuing Biafra, the realization of Biafra. But most people have opted for the example some 2 days ago. L0sing had also spoken about the need for restructuring if only this country will continue and if only things must improve. And then we also had a case of one of the senators representing Enugu State, Chimaroke Namani, also talked about restructuring. And we know that restructuring is really something that would change the fortunes of some state. But the people who are never interested in restructuring had always been the northerner. And there are a lot of reasons why they are really against it. But Shehu, the former senator of Kaduna State, Senator Shehu Sani, had in his Twitter page been able to bring out 4 obstacles that he feels makes restructuring so difficult. It makes it unachievable. You understand? And I'm going to read that to you before we go into the discussion. And one of the things he made mention among the 4 obstacles is that they not see it as a Southwest agenda. And in other words, they not believe that, hey, if we allow this to happen, it therefore means we are working in line with the agenda of the Southwest, and because they know that they have the manpower, they have the natural resources, they have a lot of things that they can, that will make restructuring more beneficial to them. They also have this fear that it's only about control of oil resources. And you know that in the Niger Delta, if you look at even the NNPC, you will notice something, that greater number of persons working there, especially at the hem of a, like as I'm talking to you right now, the NNPC managing director, it's a northerner, it's not from anywhere but a northerner. So all of that, they believe that we are scrambling for it as South as a whole are eager to have it so that they can be in control of some of the natural resources that have been a blessing to Nigerians. And another thing is also, he made mention again that the fear of loss of political patronage, territories, and economic privileges. And the last one he talked about was opportunism and lack of political will and courage by the past and the present government. So we are going to discuss all of this in a jiffy, and but before we do that, let's just look at some of the reactions of Nigeria. And this one says, in no time Aboki gets sense that even the Southwest has become afraid of their one-time agenda restructuring. Reason it same oil. But the truth of the matter today is many progressive nations, the US, China, the UK, including Dubai, all are practicing a form of restructuring or true federalism. It is healthy. If any meaningful tribe are concerned about moving Nigeria forward, the first thing to do is to reform and edit the country or begin to implement the previous year recommendation. That is the simplest way for those who want peace and progress, but hardest for those who don't want change because they believe because of the greed of oil, and that is one of the things this guy made mention of. And this one says here, the North contribute little or nothing to the nation's wealth, yet want to continue oppressing the South. I don't blame them. I blame past administration of OBJ and GEJ that failed to do the right thing during the period they had the power. OBJ even tried. 13% derivation was his regime, but our South brother who ought to be more concerned was busy saving the North. Restructuring is the only way forward. It will happen one day. Another person here says, Senator, you are wrong, except now you are a leftists, it is all because of Islamic domination. Islam says when we get to a place, seize power and commerce and reduce the people to slaves. I don't know how true that is, but I think it's going to the extreme there. He said the system works well in the Middle East and northern Nigeria. It's been imposed on the southern Nigerian and middle belt. The system is currently not working in line with what is obtainable. All right, I don't know what he really means there, but however, we just want to discuss this in a jiffy. Looking at, my colleague is here in the house, and we want to talk about this, looking at the obstacle that have been made mention of by the former senator. What do you have to say about it?
Well, if you look at the 4 obstacles Senator Shehu Sani said, he's not far from the truth. We all know that looking at the political opportunity mentioned as the number 3 point he raised. Let me start from there. You notice that for you to go for any political position in Nigeria, if you do not attach a northerner, either as vice president or as president, is dead on arrival. It's a birthright. Okay, it's their birthright politically that they always have to be at the helm of affair. If you want to win any elections, I don't know why, I don't know, probably they have population, I wouldn't know. But if you want to win any elections, federal level, you have to put it out now, else it's not going to work. In fact, the parties won't even allow it. They have flags, they won't even allow it to fly in their platform. That's one. And we all know about this issue of having to enjoy control of oil. We also know that when it comes to some of these federal parastatals that have to do with oil and oil wells, Northerners actually have control, greater number of control of these oil wells, even though the natural resources are in the south. Okay, so but if you restructure, that means to your tent, O Israel, yes, every man to his region. And if it's every man to the region, that means the Northerners will not have access to some of these lofty positions, some of these beautiful positions, and occupying privileged economic privileges that was generated by the South. That's not going to go well. And if you look at also the issue of that he said something that actually this issue of regional restructuring is all from the Southwest, and this whole thing began in the arena of the Amotekun, establishment. They believe that as soon as Amotekun was established, they started seeing the picture of restructuring coming to play. They started seeing that Amotekun has already formed a regional security outfit, which means they had already planned that there will be regions, there will be restructuring, and so they are keeping their security in place ahead of the restructuring. So they just looked at it that, okay, Amotekun came into place and now they're doing it, so they want us to to go into regions, and this has quickly brought this into our attention fairly recently. In fact, by 30th of June 2020, the presidency will be launching AKK pipeline. What that means is Ajakuta Kano Kaduna pipeline. What it means is that Ajakuta, which is in Kogi, will be supplying gas to the states like Kano, Kaduna, and these pipes will be generating power supply, electric grid to these states, and it will help promote industrialization to the states, giving quick, easy, cheap electricity supply, which is one of the cardinal social amenities that will aid industrialization. Now, what this means is that they're taking resource from Kogi to power Kano, Kaduna, and to aid industrialization. Now, one would say, if you do restructuring, I don't know if that will be possible when it's being restructured, but that gives a picture of how a state produces, another enjoys. What stops?
It will be kind of bilateral relationship between the states. They need to meet together and arrive at a mutual benefit for each other. A win-win situation whereby whatever you are getting from me, you are paying for it. So maybe you're getting gas from me, but then maybe I have to get your coke vehicle and also have to get your, leather and the likes. I think that's just where what it will be in the case of, restructuring. And I feel at this point that these guys, the Southerners, need to push for this. If Nigeria will still be a one nation come 2023, if we must also go beyond the developmental stage that we have found ourselves, I think the federating unit should be given that privilege. No matter, and I guess what, it's the responsibility of our senators, especially those who are from the South.
That's where the fourth point came in, where he said the fact that these guys lack courage and will to demand for restructuring.
Exactly.
So due to sometimes the case of opportunism, you realize that if they do this restructuring, the federal power, the federal might will not support my next political ambition of probably returning as a senator or returning as a governor or whatever, or appointee. And so at the end of the day, if I speak, I lose my political position and benefit. So they are not speaking.
And I think at this point also that even those who have scaled to the position of presidency may not accept it in their own time,
Because that will destroy the whole thing.
Yeah, because it will make those at the federating unit, that's those who are in the states, they will even be stronger
than the center.
They will control more resources, and they will just be maybe like a ceremonial head. And that's one thing that they don't want to, see. They want a situation whereby immediately they get there, they will be remote controlling virtually everything in every state. Their influence will be really felt. And I think the most important thing is if we can raise people who can represent our interests, not their own personal selfish interests. Look at the issue of constituency money that have been given to them. They've not used it to show you that everyone that have a privilege of entering into Senate thinks about himself, forgetting about what the need of the people is. No matter how good they talk, it needs to be proven, and that's one of the things that we're not seeing.
Well, that's where we're going to wrap it up. I would like you to, join us in the comment section. What's your take on this? Do you think that Senator Shehu Sani is correct about the obstacles facing restructuring, or do you just think that secession is the real deal, or do you think that honestly that the Northerners want to restructure, but just that they are scared of losing their grip? Let's meet in that comment section. Also, forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Stay tuned for more updates.